So,
Actually, you already started?
yeah, we're just gonna hang out for a minute.
Okay.
We're not gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
That way everything's rolling, so we can just kind of go right into it when we're ready. So the whole point is we're gonna have a conversation. Mm-hmm. You're gonna look at me, and these aren't
Not to the camera. Okay.
Yeah, don't look at the camera. Mm-hmm. It's not like that kind of thing. It's more just, just like a interesting little fun interview to chat about. Less about the technical side. You can get as technical as you want to if you want. But it's really more because we all know about, anyone who's been in the business long enough knows about CROs. They generally have a lot of the similar capabilities. Some do, some don't, some things, right? They're generally pretty fast, right? Unless there's a crazy long lead time. They're generally competitive, so what makes us different? Well, it's the conversations, it's the transparency, it's the relationship, it's how we do business and what drives us and what's important to us. And that's kind of what I want to get to, is just like, well, yeah, Solarion's a name, but this, it's run by people. And these are the people you get to work with.
Yes.
Kind of idea.
Yeah.
Even if you're not client facing, they can still see this is what you do and this is your, this is your role and this is why it's important. Make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
So, what I'm going to do is I'll do just a real brief intro to you. And it's Tatiana Clemente. Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
Clemente?
Yeah.
Is that?
It's Clemente, but you can say
Clemente?
Clemente. Yeah, it's Clemente. Yes.
Clemente.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'll say it right. I can adjust. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. Tatiana Clemente. And so I'll do that, and we'll go into questions. The whole point of this is that it's not scripted. I mean, yeah, you know the questions in advance, but it's not like you're reading from a script and you got cue cards.
Yeah.
It's I want it to be organic and just how you truly feel about things and what what it means to you, basically. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right, so we're just gonna have a chat.
Okay.
You look fantastic, by the way.
Oh.
And this is off just a little bit.
I just want to make sure my glasses, they don't look blurry, right?
No, there's no glare.
Oh, okay. They don't look dirty, right?
Oh, no, they don't. No,
Okay.
you can't see that at all. We don't have that level of
Okay.
detail. Yeah, it's not like 8K or something.
Okay.
They're going to be like, oh, there's a speck on our glasses. No. Good. No.
Okay.
You look good.
Okay.
So, today I'm sitting down with Tatiana. See, and you get to stop and start as many times as you like.
Because you edit.
Because it's all going to be edited. There's nothing live. We can't. It's not like you got to do this in one cut.
Oh, okay.
If you're like, no, I didn't say that the way I wanted to, or I'd like to rephrase that.
Okay, that's good.
We'll just pick up. And you don't have to start from the beginning. You can pick up wherever you want to.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. So today I'm sitting down with Tatiana Clemente, a scientist in analytical development at Solarion. Tatiana brings a deep background in biology and immunology. Tatiana brings a background in biology and immunology, and I wanted to talk with her about how that perspective shapes the way she approaches bioanalytical problems and the impact of the work. So Tatiana, what is important to you kind of in your life that maybe directly or indirectly connects with the work that you do every day?
Well, I think that to me, and I guess for most people, it's important to, to do work that has a purpose. So, spending your time on something that it's meaningful. And I don't know, I realized really early on that I could get that sense of purpose through science. And I believe that that still connects to, the work that I do now, because as a method development scientist, I'm involved in building and refining assays that will generate data that is going to be used to support drug development decisions. So that's how I see that I'm getting, that sense of purpose.
Excellent. And you worked in academic research and now very applied in bioanalytical research. What changed for you when you made that transition?
Yeah, so I worked in academic research for several years and I really enjoy it. But I think over time, what changed to me was, just realizing how long it can take for you to actually see the application of your work. And even though I really value that foundational work, I personally feel more motivated by work that has a more immediate connection, with, the work that you're doing on the bench and how it's being used. And that's how I ended up being bioanalysis.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I get it, because academic research is usually very basic research. And if you really love that, great. But if you want to see something applied, good luck.
Yes.
Right. What surprised you most about making that transition?
Well, I think that, how flexible we can be at work when it comes to meet our sponsor needs while still maintaining, our standard practices. So there's always a lot of collaboration and discussion around how to adapt when needed, but we always keep in mind that we need to keep the data integrity. That's the most important thing. So I think that balance between flexibility and consistency at the same time, I think that surprised me the most.
Excellent. For someone outside biotech, how would you explain what you work on and why it matters?
Well, I try to explain by saying that my job is basically make sure that you can accurately measure drugs in biological samples, and that information will help other scientists as well as clinicians to understand, how a drug behaves, if it does what it's supposed to do. And well, that matters because that information will actually guide, how drug development will continue. So,
excellent. Where does patient safety or decision making come into that picture?
Well, I guess that when data is solid, it will lead to well-informed decisions about how a drug will move forward. So, just having reliable data will reduce uncertainty and minimize safety risks.
Excellent. In your work, a lot of challenges come down to unexpected issues, and real samples happens probably every day.
Exactly.
How do you usually approach solving these types of problems?
Well, yeah, as you said, they're pretty common. Happen every day, sometimes more than once. And what I try to do is just, take a step back, try to reassess all my controls, my conditions, make sure that I didn't miss anything, observe any recent changes, and try to, break the problem into smaller pieces instead of just tackling all at once. And, I try not to rush into conclusions, try to get as much as information as I can. But I think that the most important thing is also share that issue with our teams and, get other perspectives. I think that's really important.
Excellent. And you mentioned teams. How does that work? What does good collaboration really look like when you're working with teammates to support a study and you're trying to overcome a challenge?
Well, I think good collaboration comes down to really open communication and being willing to help each other out, especially when you're working on something that involves multiple teams and you're supporting a big study. So you just need to reach out to people and, I think that's it.
Yeah, good. What helps kind of keeps projects moving smoothly?
Well, I think how integrated our method development and validation teams are, it's definitely very helpful. We work really close to each other. I mean, literally, but also, we're always sharing all the details and nuances of our assays, and that really helps avoiding, bad surprises later, and it makes the transition really smooth.
Great. What keeps you excited or curious about the work you're doing now?
Well, I think that the variety, Here, I mean, it's a very fast-paced environment. We're constantly working with multiple assays, and each assay brings its own challenges. So there's lots of opportunities to learn and grow as a scientist. And yeah, I think I'm really happy to be part of this.
Nice. What do you love about what you do?
I love knowing that at some point that work will help somebody else, that it's not just work for work, that in long term it's gonna have like some significant impact in someone's life. So that makes me feel good about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you see that drug being advertised that you worked on and knowing that it's helping many people, it could touch the lives of hundreds or thousands of people.
Yeah, that makes me feel that I'm making a good use of my time.
Awesome. Well, Tatiana, thanks so much for sharing your story, sharing how you think about the science and the responsibility behind it, and appreciate your unique perspective and what you bring to the work and the care you put into it.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right. That was fantastic.
Oh.